Hey everybody, Mark Dawes here. Now, I want to start off with a story today. There's a guy, and he's under a lamppost late at night, and he's searching in the light. He's on his hands and knees, and his neighbour comes past, and his neighbour said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Oh, I've lost the keys to my house." He said, I can't get in." So his neighbour gets on his hands and knees like a good Samaritan, and he starts searching with him. And after about 15 minutes, they've exhausted their search from in this area. And the neighbour turns around to the guy and said, "Look," he said, "are you sure you lost your keys here?" And the guy said, "No, I lost them over there, but the light's better over here." Now, I tell this story sometimes when I'm doing talks because it illustrates a point, and here's the moral of the story. A lot of people look for answers to questions and wisdom and knowledge from outside themselves because we're taught to do that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I go on courses, I read books, I do loads of stuff to get more knowledge. And that's something we all should do as part of your CPD. But you have a hell of a lot of knowledge and wisdom and information already existing inside of you. It's already there. It's been pre-programmed in you, when you were in your mother's womb. And that stuff is God-given, if you like. Okay, it's universal. This is universal knowledge. I mean, you have 400 billion neurons apparently in your brain, which is equivalent to the same amount of stars and planets in the Milky Way galaxy. I mean, you haven't got that stuff in there just so you can go and make a cup of tea or go through the routine of your daily procedure at work. You have this stuff because you are there. You have the ability to be creative. You've got the ability to create, to actually build things. And this is what I want to talk to you about today, because I speak to some people who bring me up for advice, or we have a chat or whatever, and they say, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. I've lost interest, particularly during this pandemic. I'm stuck in. I don't want to do anything anymore. You've got to be proactive, okay? You've got to do stuff. Doesn't matter what it is, but you've got to do something proactive every day. And if possible, in the direction where you need to go. So, searching in the right area, if you like, if you want to use the metaphor from the guy searching under the lamp. And the other thing that's key to this is that you've got to act as though what it is you want to achieve has already been achieved. Your brain doesn't know the difference between perception and reality. Quantum physicists have proved this stuff. So if you see me do something now, or if you do something now, like you learn a dance move or a martial arts move or a self-defense technique or whatever it is, if you practice that more physically, the networks in your brain will create a physical network associated with that. But if you sit there and close your eyes and imagine you're doing it, so you're not actually physically doing it, you're just imagining you're doing it, your brain produces a network consistent with what you're thinking about. And this is why mind training is so important. Now, how do you unlock all this wisdom and intelligence and knowledge inside your body? Meditation, believe it or not. If you can sit down and quiet your mind and give yourself an intention to focus on. So it may be the intention that you want to find a job. It may be the intention that you want to find a new partner. It may be the intention that you want to build a business, whatever that is. Right? But if you do this regularly, you will build a network in your brain. Now, here's the other phenomenal thing about this. Research is now showing that if you practice anything for 67 days, that becomes a new habit. Got that? So if you do something for 67 days, you've now formed a new habit. So if you stop doing stuff that's not productive and you do stuff that's productive for 67 days, you dump stuff you don't need, but you now produce new habits and new behaviors. So just imagine, just bear with me, just imagine for a moment if you're inside your head and every day for 15, 20 minutes, maybe 5 if that's all you've got, you close your eyes, you slow your breathing rate down. And the reason you want to slow your breathing rate down is that unlocks the creative part of your brain, and you focus on an intention on whatever it is you want to be. Now, I've done this for years. When I first started the business, initially I was driven by wanting to earn a certain amount of income per year. So I focused on that. And that gave me the ability to create courses and create processes and systems and find clients that helped me generate the income I wanted. Now, it sounds a bit, spooky if you like, but, what's the option? Do you want to sit there and worry about not having it? Because I tell you what, when you sit there and you worry about not having it, you're doing exactly what I've just described to you, but in a dysfunctional way. Now, I was talking to my good friend Trevor Henry today on the phone, and we were having a discussion about right or wrong. And it was really interesting because years ago I was at a meeting and there was a priest there. And they were talking about, well, I know what that person did was wrong, but it's not their fault. They had a bad upbringing and so on and so on and so forth. And this priest put up with it for so long, and he said, look, stop. He said, there is no excuse. It's either right or it's wrong. And everyone knows the difference between right and wrong. And what I'm saying to you is there's a right way of thinking and there's a wrong way of thinking. Right way of thinking will give you better results than the wrong way of thinking. And the science to back all this up is out there. So I urge you, for you, okay, get rid of the negativity. Just be proactive every day. It doesn't matter what direction you go in. Do something productive every day, because things will happen as a result of you being productive. You are, right now, me included, we are the sum total of where we are at this point in time. We are the sum total of all the thoughts and behaviors and actions we've taken to get us here. Now, I believe that, and I actually accept 100% that whatever I've done, good or bad, I am 100% responsible for. And I'll tell you why, and I want you to do the same as well. If you accept that, then you can accept that you have the ability to change it as well. That's the good thing. But if you're in a 50-50 or 75-25 where, it's, 50% of it's your fault and only 50% of it's my fault, you can only change half. All right? No point changing half. You've got to change everything. Okay. Now, one of the things as well, just to start finishing this off, is a lot of people don't follow their dreams. They don't follow their passions. And the reason is they think their dream is too big to achieve. Now, a very good friend of mine, Arlene, she once told me this, is God will never give you something if you don't have the shoulders to bear it. Think about that, okay? So if you have a big dream, the very fact that you've had the capacity to dream that must mean that you have the capacity to make that dream real. So don't be scared by big dreams. They're coming to you for a reason. You've just got to have faith in yourself and trust yourself and take action. And you can chunk those dreams down into action plans, into small things you need to do. But if you move forward one step at a time, you will hit a point where things will tip. And that's called a tipping point. And that's when exponential change takes place. And that's, that works in business, that works in relationships, that works financially, that even works with illnesses and diseases. But, and you could not do as well. But what you focus on, this is the thing, what you focus on is you are manifesting, you are materializing in your life. 78%, this has been documented, 78% of students who study tropical diseases end up getting the symptoms of the disease that they're studying. Why? Because they're focusing on it. And they're probably cramming for exams, so they're focusing on it more and more and more and more intensely, and then they start to get the physical effects of the disease they're studying. If that can happen for a negative, it certainly can happen for a positive. And there are thousands of stories out there of people who've actually achieved it by thinking the right way. So my wish for you today is apply your mind in the right way. And if you want more of this stuff, come and train with us, guys. We've got a conflict management course in May. We've got a self-defense trainers course in April. We've got a restraint course in September. We do loads of this stuff on these courses. So if you come on a self-defense course, for example, we're going to teach you all the self-defense stuff. But more importantly, we teach you how to use that 3.5 pounds of infinite intelligence between your ears. That's the key. All right. You have a great day. Live a great life. Speak to you soon. And hey, if you've got any questions, give me a shout. I'll be interested to know what you think. All right. You take care.